This is really a big day as we sign the landmark Genius Act into law. So the Genius Act creates a clear and simple regulatory framework to establish and unleash the dollar-backed stable coins. This could be perhaps the greatest revolution in financial technology since the birth of the internet itself, and decentralization of cash. Genius Act provides banks, businesses, and financial institutions a framework for issuing crypto assets backed one for one with real U.S. dollars, treasury bills, and this will increase demand for U.S. treasuries, lower interest rates, and secure the dollar's status as the world's reserve currency for generations to come.
Dollar isn't in trouble. I want you to look at the Genius Act that just has been passed by the Congress. I think either yesterday or today. I'm in Dubai right now. I cannot tell by the time. But let's look at the Genius Act that Trump said that he was named after. The Genius Act was passed. Was it genius? Was it dumb? Well, for those who don't understand what's taking place, the dollar has been pegged to crypto. In simple terms, what they call stablecoins. In this video, we are going to break down to understand is pegging the US dollar on crypto a genius act or a dumb idea? In simple terms. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking it down for you. Let's start. Okay. What are stablecoins? Most people are asking, we are hearing about stablecoins. The dollar is getting a stablecoin or getting implemented into crypto, and everybody knows crypto has the biggest scam. But crypto wasn't a scam in actual sense. Crypto was a scam used on people in a way, how should I say? In a way of someone finds you because you lack the acknowledge of something, and then they use it to scam on you in simple terms. But what's a stablecoin? A stablecoin, this is a coin that doesn't sweet like crypto. Today is 100K, tomorrow is 80K, the next morning is 70K. BTC, for example, they always do swing. Their coins, they always do swing. I'm going to buy, let's say, today for 100K, then the next morning it's going to be around 120K. So, in simple terms, Bitcoin coins do swing. However, we have what they call the USDT tether. And this time we're going to be having the USDC or the USDC sample. Those are two different stable coins actually. The USDT, that's the USDT tether. In simple terms, it's implemented by Hong Kong. Mostly, it's used by Asian traders and African traders, the global traders. In simple terms, to be trading like between foreign countries. Well, as we have what they call the what I will be calling the USDC. So in simple terms, the USDC is being implemented by the US government. In simple terms, or the US. Hopefully it's gonna be named like the USDX, maybe implemented by the government. I'm not sure about that, but very soon we'll be seeing how it's gonna be implemented. But here's how I want you to. This is how I want to break it down for you. One coin will always be equal to $1, for example. Let's say a US dollar stable coin will always be pegged to $1. In simple terms, you'll be always holding value than holding cash, because cash is always printed out. And when it's highly printed out, there's what they call inflation. Your money gets devalued. If I had, let's say, $1, if I was buying a good for $1 in cash, tomorrow morning it's gonna be more. I'll be if the Feds continue printing money, I'll be having to be buying it. And if, let's say, the next day on the shop, I find it's for $1.5. Okay, so that means I'll have to add more money. Meaning my money has devalued by almost 0.5. So the reason for implementing the stable coins is kind of is a kind of trying to create stable coins, like someone to be sure they're holding value. To understand all this tech that's taking place, it's two ways actually. To most people see it as a mimic behavior of they see like it doesn't make sense to them, but it actually does to smaller countries. It really does. In simple terms, let's say I live in Nigeria, I live in or Uganda, I live in Kenya or South Africa. If I live in a country that has uh, not a strong currency, but a poor currency, like it's not really doing well. And if I have a job online and I'm being getting paid on online, let's say, if I'm paid in a stable coin, that means I can buy anything through a stable coin directly without holding cash and buying it on a stable price. Meaning I will buy anything that I'm buying on a stable price without getting devalued on the exchanges. Like if I go on the exchange, I take my dollar home, I'm gonna get less money than I should be getting paid because of the exchanges. However, having a stable coin, I'm likely to be paying someone face to face. Meaning this is gonna implicate the work of the banks, one way or the other. There will be trade that will be done off the dollar, okay? Like off the middlemen, let's say like banks, exchanges. Like I'm highly to make fast transfers. Let's say I'm buying something from Japan. I'm likely to send someone money directly to Japan without any regards of so and so taking 2 to 3 days waiting for the bank approval. And in actual sense, this is gonna kill what they call the SWIFT system. SWIFT system, like if you're sending money to someone, can't wait for 3 or 4 days. This is gonna be taking around 2 to 3 or 4 minutes to send money in simple terms. Stable coins are good in transfer of like dealing with trades. And US running for the stable coin, this is trying to fight for its dominance in the trade culture in simple terms. Like they're trying to fight for the dominance of the US dollar as a global reserve to the rest of the world. So to understand what we are really talking about, we should understand that the dollar coming out, joining opening it to the crypto world, bringing out what they call a stable coin, meaning they're trying to implement trades where they couldn't, and also endure the young generation that's getting to crypto. Like they can easily use the US dollar to trade anything. In the long run, this will really a genius idea. But on the other hand, it looks like a dumb idea. Ask me why. Why am I saying this is a dumb idea? In simple terms, implementing the a stable coin is good, like really good. Actually, the US has been late implementing one. But the question is it the right time to implement a stable coin, or are they really late? So to understand why we are seeing this coming up right now, why is Trump bring up crypto right now into the game, we must understand the Chinese dictator yuan. The Chinese dictator yuan has dominated the Middle East. Its trading partners like the UAE, Saudi, they have been almost trading halfway of the oil in I wouldn't say UAE, but Saudi and Iran. Those are, I know, mostly they have been trading oil. Iran, that's fully in the yuan, the yuan dictator currency, and Saudi halfway dictator currency. Then the rest, I think, stand in dollars. But why am I talking about the Chinese yuan? The Chinese yuan has been getting dominated into the BRICS, especially. If you look at the new banking system they brought out, the new how's it called, the new development bank that they developed today, it's all about, for those who don't understand this, BRICS is something scary to the US dollar, to the US actually. In simple terms, the US today, the BRICS is likely to be receiving over 50 members applying to join the BRICS. They have what they call table members and participating members. Participating members today are almost 50 countries are implementing, are getting into BRICS. If this system gets into if the let's say the Chinese yuan gets used by these 50 countries, that's a lot. That's a lot to kill the dollar dominance. That's why today you are seeing Trump running for crypto. Like he's running for crypto to save the US dollar. Just of this year, only of this year, the US dollar has fallen by 10%. The Chinese yuan, digital currency, has bumped up to almost, last year it was around 800 billion. Today it has jumped up to over, they said around 3 trillion, something like that. But even their expectation was actually less than what they received this year. Meaning, any mistake that the US is making is a big chance for the Chinese yuan to get implemented. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a fan of CBDCs. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of uh stable coins, because in actual sense, both of these governments are implementing something that on me and you that we don't really like in actual sense. Ask me what. In simple terms, they are implementing. You're gonna be losing privacy at certain extent, because for those who don't understand, China introduced what they call CBDCs, and for those who don't understand CBDCs, these are central bank digital currencies. These are highly regulated, and these are highly how should I call it? These are highly track every trade. And what I know about digital currencies, one or two. Digital currencies, one, I like it to have an expiry date. Like, it's not like the way you keep your money in the bank and forget about it. Yeah, your money will expire and you will find zero balance on your account. Or at one point or the other point. So in simple terms, we should try our best to understand that at this course of the world that we are right now, these two countries, China and the US, are fighting for what we call to have the need for treasury bonds has been prominently falling down, has been actually heading way down to the, I don't want to say Soviet Union, no. It has been heading way down, like it has been lacking demand in actual sense, okay? Sorry about the Soviet Union, that wasn't part of the story, but it's important what we should be saying, like, one, Trump has implemented the stable coins, but the question, will they be recognized? Because what will stop countries like China from, countries like India, Russia, from introducing their own stable coins? That's my first question. What will stop other countries from, if US did it, why won't someone else did it? Like, that's my active thing. Because they was implementing the stable coins is a good thing for it actually. It will be used highly internationally. It will settle trades as fast as possible. But the question is, if US has got into crypto, what's stopping other governments from training crypto? That's the first question to ask yourself. And how sure are you that the US dollar will be highly recommended according to its history that's serving their own currency to be implemented to the rest of the world? Use the Chinese yuan or use the dollar yuan. However, both currencies are not the best currency for the world actually, if you ask me. Briefly. However, if you ask me for what's safer, I would say metals are safer. Gold is safer. Because all these countries have issues. See, the US implementing the stablecoin doesn't erase the US debt, the 37 trillion debt. That's likely to be added over 3.3 or to $4.5 trillion in the next 10 years after the signing of the big beautiful bill, okay? That alone, if investors are scared of the condition of the US dollar, that alone is going to lead them to be putting in a situation where someone is not ready to be implementing the US dollar in their life. They'll be like, okay, I'll be buying the US dollar, but the way it's getting printed is what's scary. You're getting, like, the government is using more money. For those who don't understand the US debt, how the US debt is done, for example, I'm going to say I'm the US government, okay? My salary is $5,000, okay? Let's say $5,000. But in a month, I use $7,000, okay? Where does the $2,000 come from? Well, I borrow that money. So we must understand, we must first look at the situation of the US dollar. Look at the T-bills or the treasury bills of the US dollar today. The treasury bonds. The treasury bonds today are just highly, they lack what they call demand actually says. They have been, today I've seen yields going high as 5%. For those who don't understand yields is I would say a kind of a profit, as you has a buy of bonds that you want a higher margin. You like, it's like someone I'll be borrowing on new money, and you'll be like, okay, I need to implement a profit, and I be like, okay, if you want me to borrow you, you must give me a higher margin of what I'm borrowing you. If I'm borrowing you $1,000, I need a yield of 5% or 6%. Today I've seen the US dollar almost hitting 5% yield. Everything has been permanently like lacking demand. I've seen investors who have been almost failing to sell off their treasury bonds because they have been losing money, because the government have been see, whenever the government increases the yields, the old bonds become almost worthless. Like, nobody's gonna buy your bond when your bond has a 3% yield, when the new bonds is having a yield of 5%. You otherwise have to wait until that bond matures. So the need for treasury bonds has been prominently falling down, has been actually heading way down to the, I don't want to say Soviet Union, no. It has been heading way down, like it has been lacking demand in actual sense, okay? Sorry about the Soviet Union, that wasn't part of the story, but it's important what we should be saying. Like, one, Trump has implemented the stable coins, but the question, will they be recognized? Because what will stop countries like China from, countries like India, Russia, from introducing their own stable coins? That's my first question. What will stop other countries from, if US did it, why won't someone else did it? Like, that's my act of thing. Because they was implementing the stable coins is a good thing for it. Actually, it will be used highly internationally. It will settle trades as fast as possible. But the question is, if US has got into crypto, what's stopping other governments from being in crypto? That's the first question to ask yourself. And how sure are you that the US dollar will be highly recommended according to history? Its history that's serving